Hello everyone, my name is Garrett Okamber, and welcome back to Mount & Blade. This is not Mount & Blade Warband, I should state that right off the bat. I did do a lot of searching for a version of Mount & Blade Warband for this mod that we're going to be playing here called Solid and Shade. Solid and Shade is a Lovecraftian, low fantasy sort of horror, surreal transformation of the world of Calradia. It takes the base game. I like mods that do this. They take the base game and they add on to it. What it does is it takes the world you know and it gives it a grimmer, darker landscape than you remember. So you have the forces of the Nords, you have the forces of the Vaegir, you have the people from the East. You have all these people struggling for power in this game. But on top of it, you have subtle motes of darkness. There are features like ghosts, zombies, necromancers. There's even Cthulhu-esque old ones. There's dark beings that will slowly encroach. In fact, there's a dark place you can pledge yourself to. You don't have to, but it's one of the things that's very much available to you. And a lot of this stuff is really hidden. That's the sad thing about this mod. There's not as much information as you would hope. Everything that people have discovered, they've discovered on the forums, and they've talked about it. I played this a while back. This is my first time in a long time getting back into it, and I want to show you some of the save games that I have. I would like to do a series on this, at least doing a brand new thing. But for now, restore a save game. Oh, which one? Oh, yeah, this one. Yeah, I think this is the one. I'm going to do this. This is my werewolf, who's incredibly powerful. There are werewolves in this. This is the only Mount & Blade mod that I know of that lets you play as a werewolf, which is pretty cool. We also saw a save file called Horseman. I died at one point, and it said my head was cut clean off, but it was such an insult that my character rose from the dead, and I became a headless horseman. That was really cool. So, my character here is a werewolf. He started out as just any ordinary character, and I started, collecting very dark things, and eventually what ended up happening was I got bit by a werewolf, and I had to do a lot of things to do that. You can't just do that off the bat. By the way, werewolves are probably the most powerful thing in the game, so what were we doing? I don't remember what we were actually doing. That's right, I have my own kingdom now. What is my kingdom? Oh, no. I did have my own kingdom at one point, and then I gave my kingdom to King Ragnar to give him power. And I'm eventually going to betray him. That's right, so we work for Sargoth. These are my lands over here, Yalen and Veluca. We are on the field, and I can't exactly remember what we're doing. Who are we against? I need to turn on the music here. The music's actually pretty good. It's kind of messed up, but that's if it wants to play. I don't know if the music wants to play or not. I have to remember who we are at war with, because I don't remember. Khergit and Rhodoks. Yes. That's Swadia. And I have single-handedly drove Rhodoks all the way back into Jelkala. They literally have no other territories. They are struggling so bad. So this is like complete domination. This took me forever to actually play. Yes. And these guys here. Yeah, they're pretty fucked. I think we're going to utterly conquer Rhodoks now, because we can. And I haven't played this in a while again. So we're going to crush any opposition that would be in our way. And it's an enjoyable mod. It makes the game really, dark and spook. Ooh, there's a big fight going on there. We should probably join. Who do I have in my entourage party? That's right, we have Crossbones the werewolf. He's a special werewolf. I believe he'll only join you if you are a werewolf. We have created other werewolves. It's not easy to do, and they are incredibly powerful. They're virtually immune to almost all weapons. Makes them crazy. Oh, that's right, we have a Pinocchio here. Your skills are impressive. Give you surgery. And we have a Revenant. We don't have the ability to upgrade him for some reason. We're doing fine on money. Okay. So we are outnumbered, but using my knowledge of how to play this, I feel a bit weird riding a horse. No, I don't want to retreat. I feel a bit weird riding a horse and a werewolf, but the game doesn't know I'm a werewolf. That's just, you know, it's part of the mod. And it's a pretty... No, stop. It's a pretty shitty model, if you ask me. But it's the thought that counts. The claw animations are really wonky as well, because again, this game is never designed for this sort of thing. Now the music is too loud. There we go. Okay. Oh, there they are. My horse is probably gonna die. But I don't care, because we are complete badass. We almost always knock people out or kill them with our claws. It's a pretty spooky mod for a pretty spooky time of year. And they are dying as quick as imaginable. We just took out a lord. And I've been soloing the game as a werewolf. Like, most of the time I've been sending my men to just defend spawn. Like, there's no reason to have them. Oh, my horse got killed. I hope it wasn't a special horse. There are special horses. You can actually use necromancy to raise horses. The thing I don't like about classic Mount and Blade is FOV is really shit. I don't even have to block. They don't do enough damage. You four men. Oh god. I could just keep cutting through them. And I do have a ranged weapon because it's useful and it's probably the most powerful crossbow in the game. Against other werewolves, too. It's godlike. It's like... Yeah, it's so cheap. It's so cheap. Like, some of this is not necessarily balanced, but you have to work your ass off to get to this point, so... I guess that's fair. Oh, he had a dragon on his shield. Was he a Targaryen? I don't know. There are no Targaryens in this. This is before Game of Thrones. Oh, the screams. The screams. And another reason I keep my troops back, although they're really hard to kill, I'd rather keep my werewolves alive. I think we can actually charge, though. Yeah, now we can charge. They don't have enough forces to deal with me. That guy's running. He's like, oh, no. I think he enjoyed that. Get him. Get him. There are vampires as well. I don't believe I have a vampire character just yet. But... oh yeah, I have the Raven! I forgot about the Raven. It's so awesome. Mira, come on. Come on, you can get him. I gave her werewolf claws, because once you get the armor for the werewolf, you can technically give them those bonuses as if they were one of those themselves. I haven't had the armor drop for the werewolf, but if I did, I probably would make most of my followers werewolves, because again, it's incredibly powerful. What's better, some of you are asking, werewolves or vampires? Well, werewolves beat the shit out of the vampires. I think vampires are a little bit easier to create, but werewolves are better. Liches, however, are better than both of them. I have not become a lich yet, probably because it's not as good as being a lich in the Fantasy Coloradia mod. Yay, we won, everyone. Congratulations. I haven't fought any of the Unknown troops yet. There's this faction called the Unknown, and they are scary shit. Okay. My allies are going to charge with me. We are going to push forward and destroy these traitorous dogs. There you are. Probably should dismount my horse before I lose it. They're probably going to take my horse at some point, which is going to suck, but hey, how you doing? Oh! I just cut through them. What I don't like is sometimes NPCs will take your horse, and they'll get your horse killed, which is kind of BS. But it happens. We're not going to survive this. What are you doing? Can you keep blocking my attacks? Nope, not that time. How about heavy armor units first? Have you? There's nothing you can do. Eh. There, he's taken out. Okay. We can do this. Charge. You're kind of in my way. Oh, shit. Shot one of my own guys in the back of the head. Oh, that happens a lot. Oh, fuck. Really? It's this rapid fire. I'm not used to it. Kind of machine gun the crap out of your enemies. Okay. We have a lot of bolts as well. Again, this crossbow is kind of overpowered. And I believe, again, the only way to get it is to be a werewolf. It was found on a man who was hunting werewolves, who became a werewolf, and he gives it to you after a small quest. Most of these quests you don't actually get information on, unfortunately. They just happen as things happen. Like the horseman, I didn't know about becoming a ghost, becoming a horseman, until it happened to me. It's pretty cool, though. Hi. Hi. How are you doing? I know, I know. They're trying to hit me. They don't do nearly enough damage. Troops can, No! Stop! I'm so used to Skyrim. I'm trying to change, my view, and I end up screwing up. Oh, really? Well, at least he's dead, because he ran into another werewolf, so... Didn't matter much, did it? Yay, we won! So we still have over 300 troops to fight. They're not going to make much of an impact against us, and the battle is going to play out pretty much the same, so I'm just going to send my entire force to charge. I'm not too worried about losing any of my men unless they have something like a werewolf on their team. That's really how I'm playing this. If they have something really powerful on their team, I stand a chance of losing some of my good troops. It's the same how I play Fantasy Coloradia. When I get a Balrog, I know they're like one of the most valuable characters in the game, so I hang on to Balrogs because they're very powerful. You don't want to, waste your good troops on fodder. So again, like, I lose a werewolf, or if I lose something else that's really strong, I'd be rather upset with myself. I might load the game. Oh, it's so messy. pretty much routed them. They are regrouping because they feel that's a good thing to do. I would disagree. Yeah, I would disagree strongly. Disadvantage to riding a horse as a werewolf is obviously my reach is not very long. Again, it's a super powerful weapon, but it doesn't... The claw doesn't have the reach, which makes sense. It's a fair assessment. But I have been able to capture all my territories single-handedly. Single-handedly. I've been able to capture them single-handedly, so, I mean, it is really strong. I like this mod because it not only adds fantasy, the grim fantasy horror, but it adds that supernatural stuff that I love in these games. I kind of wish they'd make a game like Mount and Blade. Like everything that Mount and Blade has, but with a fantasy universe. Can you imagine like a Lord of the Rings game like this? And I know there are Lord of the Rings mods. I played them before. I did a small series on it before. But they're missing something, because it's basically a modification to make it look like Lord of the Rings. It's not, you know, that same world. It doesn't have all the qualities that would make it really Lord of the Rings. You also can't really be a wizard either. So it'd be kind of cool to add in some new functions that don't otherwise exist. Or if there was like another game that was a purely original concept that had this, you know, it had this kind of gameplay to it. That'd be cool. I'd like to see that. The blue guys are now retreating. They don't want any part of this. Fine. I'll just hold position here. You guys don't want to be my cannon fodder. I'm not going to let my men suffer your ills. Now, I did actually end up converting this mod over to Warband myself. I looked up on how people did it, and I figured it out because I'm a smart cookie. Unfortunately, the reason I'm not playing it on Warband is because Warband does not like it. It was never designed for Warband. So what ends up happening is you get this weird, like, error message that constantly displays in huge red text. It's basically the game screaming that something is internally wrong. You can still play the game, but here's a secret. The see how it says like horse received damage, and you did damage, and you killed so-and-so, and this happened, and your mother's a Taco Bell. That text gets increased in size by almost, I would say, like 60%. And it's the red text. It's huge. It covers most of your screen, and you can't turn it off either. I looked up, I was like, oh, the solution is to turn that off. You can't. There's no way to tell it no. And I think if I did find a way, like, interiorly, like if I actually opened up the mod and knew how to mod for this game appropriately, I would end up destroying the ability to chat. Because people were talking about that. They said, well, why don't we just turn off the chat then? It's like, you can't turn off the messages. It doesn't work that way. So, I let my horse get killed, didn't I? Yeah. Well, there's like a horse up there. Hey, come back here. I didn't mean to hit your horse. I want your horse. Ugh. You know what? Just kill them. Just kill them. I would love to play this on Warband. I hope somebody with more knowledge of how these mods work can actually clean convert it, because it looks... I mean, the game, it's supposed to look dark, but it looks much uglier than it needs to be. Like, this would be a beautiful mod if it was remastered. I'd love to see this remastered. And again, like I said, I would love to have a game like this, like Mount and Blade, but with these either these strong horror tones or just some level of fantasy. Hell, that'd be a fascinating game. A very grim medieval fantasy game with like zombies and ghosts and stuff like that. And you still, you know, play as the humans or whatever. You could play as the good guys, or you could play as the really bad guys. And it would be its own game. It would be magic, you know, not a lot of magic, but a good deal of it that could be interesting. Maybe like the necromancers can corrupt the ground and pull the life out of people. Maybe there's like vampires that can literally I don't know, turn into mist and go right through a person and just suck all the fucking blood out as they rematerialize on the other side. Some cool shit. In between, you have like siege equipment, you have weapons, you have all sorts of things. You have like characters with relics like silver and ash stakes, and you have, you know, darkness events and dark fogs, maybe full moons. Something cool and gritty, but with this war element to it. It's like, you know, these human beings, this resistance is fighting the darkness while fighting their own wars. And that's really what this emulates. This mod does emulate that, but it's dated. It's dated. I mean, it's a great modification to a dated game. That's the sad part. You think you have the high ground, but you are sorely mistaken. The reason the Kingdom of Wardox is falling so quickly now, I hit their main capitals hard, I killed most of their good soldiers, and they are running out of money. I've never, in all the mods and all the playthroughs of Mount & Blade, witnessed a country lose its wealth and lose its security. Like, most of these soldiers you're seeing they don't even have armor. They have clothing and clubs and stones. And it's just because, again, I've starved them for resources. I have obliterated them. It's really interesting to see. And I think this mod, with all the fantasy elements, you could, again, what I was saying about a game that doesn't exist, you could attempt to fight that darkness, or you could become a part of it. You know, this character, he is fighting, you know, for his own reasons, but he is a monster. He is a monster. I'd rather roleplay a monster that's sheerly a monster that doesn't really fight for reasons, just it does what monsters do. But you can't do that in Mount & Blade. So I'm fighting for, I don't know, a new world. A whole new world. Hey there, how you doing? Oh, that was a nice shot, if I say so myself. Did I mention you can also dig graves in this? There's actually a system where you can go into town, and preferably if it's nighttime, you will not get caught. If you get caught, it's a pretty steep fine and jail time. But you can dig graves for reagents for necromancy and scrying and things like that. I think as a lich, in order to become a lich in the first place, you have to do some of that stuff. There's a lot of interesting systems in this. There's riddles, too. There's incredibly difficult riddles that I had to look up the answers to, and even then it wasn't easy to look up those answers. From what I understand, there are secret Taleworlds forums within the Taleworlds forums or elsewhere on the internet. There are people who dedicate their time to these kinds of mods, and they don't give out any answers. Everything is mysticism to them. So this is one of those where it seems a lot of the guides of this game, if you can't find it elsewhere, there's probably a secret forum for it, which really sucks. I think it sucks that there's like a secret society for this game, because I got into it pretty late and I enjoy it. And yeah, maybe I don't deserve to get into all the interesting knowledge about these mods or, you know, what's going on. From what I understand, there's a Elder Scrolls mod in the work that I've been watching for a little over a year, and there is a way to get your hands on it. But it only exists in a secret forum page, unless it doesn't exist at all and they're just doing that to troll people. But I have seen videos, I have seen pictures and things and people's reviews on the systems. Interesting stuff. A little sad as a person who loves this and likes to review said mods. I can't get my hands on it. This crushing defeat for the Rhodoks Nation is, I mean, it's even worse now. They decide to bring their entire army out to fight, and this is what they get. They are going to lose everybody. Nevermore! Ah! I love that Raven. I love it. I want that armor. I want to play as the Raven. I think I can remove the armor off him. I haven't tried it, though. It might be scripted, so I can't, though. That's usually something that these modders will do. Sometimes they don't, but If I could find all the item codes for this, I could actually wear some of the really strange armor. At the same time, I'm really enjoying playing it legitimate. I mean, I played this a long time ago in between filming other episodes. I believe I was doing Morrowind at the time for the first time for the channel, and then I was doing other things, and I never quite got about doing a series on this. And I want to know what everyone thinks about Mount and Blade, Solid and Shade. Would you like to see a fresh Let's Play of this? I keep saying I'm going to do a Mount and Blade series, and I don't do it because it's a lot of me talking as the battle goes on, and there's not a lot of action. Hell, would you like to see any form of these mods that I've shown in the past? Like, The Reckoning, maybe? Maybe more Warhammer, Solid and Shade. I would love to do this. Really, this is the one I'm really looking forward to, but... would you guys and girls like to see Star Wars themed one? There's a lot of options. I even have two, not one, 2 Game of Thrones mods, and they're pretty cool. So, be more than happy to try my hand at doing that, or maybe I can just keep it varied and be like, hey, this is Mount and Blade Day or whatever, and it's one of each every so often. I mean, it can be a pretty long experience. To get to where I'm at here in the game, it took me a little over a year and a half. And that was just off camera. I wasn't filming it. I wasn't doing anything. I was just playing it to play it. I was really trying to become a werewolf because I heard about it and I was like, oh, they sound so cool. And then when I first saw them, I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god. You know, they were scary and powerful. Arguably the strongest unit in this game that you can encounter normally. And God help you if your enemy has a werewolf. I've witnessed one werewolf. I mean, again, I'm proof of it. I've witnessed one take an entire army by themselves. And all these guys managed to escape. Which I guess is just fine. We have a Revenant. He's not worth anything, though. You have anybody that's worth... I guess he's worth taking. Rescued prisoners. Oh, these are rescued prisoners. Okay, I can take all these people. I thought I was looking at those people there. And we're running out of capacity here. Sometimes it like glitches out and you can't afford anymore. We're gonna capture... Well, we're gonna take some sergeants because they're probably worth quite a lot. A horse archer, you're not really worth that much. There we go. Okay. You don't really have much that I could sell? Just take a little bit from you. There's 246 left over. I think we'll just leave them to their own devices there. This worked out well for us. Oh yeah, and the mounted undead. That's pretty cool. If your horse dies too, you can transform it into a undead horse if you know necromancy, which is pretty neat. Or you could sacrifice your horses to get horse corpses for specific reasons, which is pretty neat. Can't exactly remember what I was doing here, but I think I'll do Weapon Master. That's going to give us a lot of strength in the long run. There's very little I can actually do with this character, so I'm going to show you all another character. Well, it's technically the same character, but you'll see something different. So this was from a much earlier save game. I was attempting to make my character a werewolf, and I ended up dying in battle. And I can't exactly remember what happened to me, but I became the Headless. You lose your name and it goes the Headless. This is still Garrett, but he died early. I am a ghost. I like how it says that. He is a ghost. It talks about my history. And then Yeah, it doesn't say what happened to me here, but it does tell you when it happens that you become a you actually become a revenant, basically. I'm still allied with, what is it called? It's actually been a while since I played this save. Okay. Right. We're not particularly powerful, unfortunately. I mean, this character, the ghosts are pretty awesome, but we're not the strongest we could be. I'm sure we could be much more powerful. I have a few weapons here. I also have this Necromancer's Nightmare, but I think this horse is better. Yeah, it is much better. This thing is like a winged demon, which is pretty cool. Well, I should say undead, not demon. And what were we doing? I can't remember. Oh, goodness. It's been such a long time. Okay, we're still at war with these guys, that's right. It was a long, dirty war. We have very few people with us. This was very early in the game for me. Yeah, we just never stopped being at war. It's kind of funny. Oh, come here. Come here, you. The Headless Horseman comes for you tonight. Well, we ran into somebody else along the road. We'll fight you to the end. I am a ghost. I don't fear death. Oh, nope. Apparently we fear surrender. So it's kind of cool when you end up as a Headless Horseman. You literally end up headless. You get this cool armor and all that stuff. It didn't matter what you were wearing before, you just end up... That's right, this fucking horse is incredibly fast. Hey there. Give me your heads. I missed. There we go. Yeah, compared to the werewolf, we're a lot weaker. I don't know if we can actually truly die, though. I think as a ghost, we don't suffer, like, physical ills when we die. I don't think our horse can perish either, because the only way to get this stuff is to end up having your head cut off in battle. And that's only if the game is favorable that you are going to be cursed. You can die in battle with your head cut off and not become a Headless Horseman. And I think you have to have some level of grinding. That's not a requirement. And I didn't even know I met the criteria. It just happened on accident, so I kept the save as a curiosity. So this is my like alternate timeline where I am a headless spirit, a Dullahan, doomed to ride around, lobbing the heads off men and women around the world. It's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool. And it says the Headless. You're no longer known as the person you were. What I like about being the Headless is I'm not limited in my choices of weapons. As a werewolf, you really want to use your claws and then the crossbow. Oh, that was a lucky shot. Is my attack speed, like, increased with most weapons? I think so. Either I just have a really nice weapon. Hey. I can never quite hit in third person. It's really weird. Warband has a much better camera angle. The FOV in this is just awful. Yeah, we are quite tanky, I mean. Got hit a few times. Quite tanky. You can't kill the undead. I think I did make a vampire, and I didn't like it as much, because they were kind of shit. Vampires are limited to using two-handed swords, which I normally love two-handed swords, but they're not particularly good versions of the two-handed sword, and they also, the vampire looks really weird. They look like something out of Warhammer, and not the vampire counts. They look like Chaos Warriors, which is a bit strange, but I'm not going to complain too much. I mean, it's a really, really fun mod with a lot of dark fantasy elements. You want to raise an army of corpses, you can. If you want to, you know, play the normal way and fight these abominations, you can. That's something that Fantasy Caladria was pretty cool for, is that you could fight, you know, the other forces as one of the original nations if you decided. You were seriously outgunned. In this, you're not as outgunned, but depending on the creature you're fighting, like, again, vampires are really fast on their feet. Werewolves are incredibly tanky, and they can cut through your armor. And ghosts, I mean, I have never fought a ghost. Like, I'm a ghost in this with this character. I don't know if there are ghosts roaming around. I know there's other forms of undead. I've run into entire legions of undead. But I don't know, like, the specifics of what makes a ghost a ghost. Do I just, you know, not suffer the after effects of battle? I know my horse is incredibly fast, which is pretty cool. I got some pretty good armor, and I have some sort of curse on me. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I can make other horsemen if I cut off their heads and use their rider? I never read about that, though. I'm curious now. That'd be kind of cool if I could make more Dullahan. Because there's a system to make werewolves, and there's a system to make vampires if you're one of those. I think you can also help somebody become a lich. I'm not entirely certain, but you can definitely bring your soldiers into undeath if you desire. It's pretty neat. Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more of Solid and Shade, please let me know. It's a pretty fun mod. It's a pretty spooky mod, too. There's not many Mount & Blade mods that truly transform the game. I mean, obviously, if they're Star Wars or Game of Thrones or whatever fantasy, maybe they're going to look a lot different. But this takes the game that you know, and it changes it into something so different, and so new. What's the armor on that 50 header? Yeah, it's not bad armor. It changes it in such a way that, it's kind of like human corpses. Your party eats them too. It changes it completely. I mean, this land is just dark and scary. There is a hidden area too, I should mention, right around... No, that's not it. Where are you? There's a place where most of this mod takes place. It's supposed to be around here somewhere. I don't think I have it unlocked this early. There's like a dark area that opens up. Yeah, it's definitely right over there by 12 Castle. And that's where you meet, like, this dark entity, and you can basically sell yourself to the dark forces and gain a lot of cool powers and abilities. In the case of this character, I never got that far. I ended up dying prior to my career as a werewolf lord. He's gonna chase us. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm enjoying this, and if you're looking for more spooky mods, I mean, there is a Google search you can do. Say like, hey, Mount & Blade, Warband or otherwise, I want to see spooky horror-based mods. This is among one of the best, in my opinion. I'll see you later.